Yeah. Card and CPD, card and it's like great, CPD. I'm gonna come to your house. Okay. I think I just.
I started again. Methods. Yeah, that part of it was like, when there was traffic at the moment.
I mean, I just sit there. I hope you get support. These people.
After half an hour.
It's just not whether.
I bring you, I just take it for a nap. Pass those back. We've got rain, all day. Okay, the part we need to do on Excel, I thought it'd be good if you had the paper there, that way you could write notes in it. So you will need your computer if you have it, so that you could go through it with me.
Yeah.
Okay, project, the project is due Sunday. And another one will pop up. Well, this is 3. Maybe we'll make a 5th. Wouldn't it be better than a final? Yeah. I don't know, I just found out I was allowed to do that. I'm like, but they've been doing projects. No one else was doing them, but now they're making this huge project for the final. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe the take-home part will be a small project. Anyways. Chapter 9. The first part, if you have your calculator, you want your calculator out. Project. Project is due this Sunday. You lose 5 points right off the bat this late because you've had 3 weeks to do it. There's no excuse. Then you post to 2 classmates. Make sure I forget what I wrote, but you need at least 4 sentences for each of them. Your responses. And that's due by Wednesday night. My other classes, everyone keeps halfway through and they're asking when the test is. Anytime you want to see when something's due, right here, schedule. And schedule. Now, those who are online, if you're in one of my other classes, don't look at the final because they're different. But the second exam is November 17th. The in-person is November 17th. The take-home's due on the 19th. And then this class, your final is Monday at 10:30, 12:30 on December 11th. So finals are not necessarily the same day or time that you have class. Well, if you have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, it should only be on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Okay. Thank you. So this first part is calculator part. So the first thing you want to do is plug these into your calculator. A couple ways you can get an exponent, depending on your calculator. It's a little caret or it's x to the y. If it's x to the y, you take the 1.03 first, hit the x to the y, and then the 4. You're getting 1.125508881. And then it says round to the thousandth. The thousandth goes tens, hundreds, thousandths would be this 5. You should get 1.126. Is everyone getting that?
Yeah.
The second one, are you getting 0.558? But negative, I don't remember if I had negative x. I think I did. Okay, someone like to do, well, there's 3 of them, 3 people. 1, 2, one more. Oh. Those who are online. It's not gonna let me do both. So those who are online, we have 13.74.
Am I supposed to be getting a big number for this?
People up there.
Did you get for this one?
I didn't do it yet. Why is it? That negative's gonna make it larger.
Yeah, you're right. Anybody doing the middle ones?
keep it switching up. They told me I could do things I was trying to do, but it's not letting me. Does anyone else agree? Does everyone agree with these values I've been trying?
Yeah.
Anyone disagree with them? Okay. So 13.7 to the fourth, are you getting 35,227? Okay. And then 20 to the fifth. 2 to the fifth is 32. 1, 2, 3. So 20 to the fifth is 3 million. $3,200,000. Now notice that last one, 0.15 to the -3, it got larger. A negative exponent moves things to the denominator. A large number divided by a decimal actually gets bigger. So everyone getting 296 points? So when you have a negative exponent, let's see which one. 2 to -3. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. It's actually 1/8. Any questions on those? Okay, everyone's good with exponents on their calculator? Okay, how about these ones? 104 times 1.03 to the fourth. The biggest thing is how you enter them into your calculator. Oh, I didn't have that.
Oh, where? Now you can get those.
The biggest thing you want to be careful, if you're entering it all at once, you want to, usually if your calculator lets you type it all, it will work. But if you hit 140 times 1.03 and it gives you an answer before you take it to the fourth power, it's not following order of operations. The 1.03 to the fourth needs to happen first and then multiply by 140. So it all depends on your calculator. If your calculator does not do order of operations, then you need to be careful and do exponents first. Everyone get 157.571. We're rounding to the thousandth. It goes 10th, 100th, thousandth is the 1. And it stays a 1 because the number to the right is a 2. For the second one, are you getting 44.672? Any questions on that one? Okay. How about these two? Are they the same?
No.
No. The first one's only cubing the 4, where the second one is cubing the whole fraction. So the first one, you would take 4 to the third first and then divide by 3.
Now you gotta divide.
And rounding again to the thousandth, so that's 3 decimal places.
No, not sure. Still.
Now this one, you would need to divide first and then take it to the cube. But your calculator, depending on the calculator, you can put it all in at once. You're getting 2.37. Now that 0 is significant. If I asked you to round 3 decimal places, please, if it's a 0, put it, because then I know you know how to round 3 decimal places, and I know that you know it's a 0.
How do you write a fraction on the calculator?
Just 4 divided by 3. I don't know if your calculator does fraction.
Yeah, I was looking at you.
I don't know if mine, I know my TI-84 does, but I don't have one of those with me. I have a 3. Somehow it does it, but I don't know. But if you don't have a fraction bar, that is just a division. Is everyone getting that? You got the values though, right? Any questions on those two? What is anything to the 0 power?
0. 1.
One of them. 1, yes. So 125 to the 0 power is 1. Now, if you have a calculator, you can look it up on your calculator anyways, but you should get 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So 2 times 125 divided by 6 to the 0 power is 1. What if we had
That's what
Man, I'll play my shit wild. Where? Yeah.
okay, how about these two? Does anyone want to do?
Me too.
So we have 100 times 25 to the 0. We don't even need to calculate what's inside it. So the 0 power makes it 1 on top and 4 on the bottom, 1/4 or 0.25, either way. Next one, negative 126 to the 0 is just 1 divided by 5, or 1/5, 0.2. Any questions on those? Are these the same? No?
No.
No?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Plug them in your calculators.
Oh.
Yeah.
I agree with the no's.
Right.
They are not the same.
They're not. The first one would just be the -3 1 times. Right, times another 3.
Times another 3.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So the first one, you're only squaring the 3, so it's negative 3 times 3. For this one, you are squaring the negative sign. So they are not the same. Now, if you plug them into your calculator, -3 squared without parentheses, you should get a -9. Or is something wrong with your calculator? And then the other one is the -3 times a -3, which is a +9. You need to be careful of that because those are common mistakes. You see -3 squared. Oh, I don't need my calculator. And you put a 9 and you keep going. Be careful of that. So the negative is only squared if it's in the parentheses. Any questions on that? When we're plugging into things, if we had a negative x squared, and we're gonna let x be a negative 3. When you plug it in, you do your exponent first, which makes it a positive 9, and this makes it a negative 9. So you need to be careful of things like that. Any questions on those two? E. Does everyone know where the e to the x button is in their calculator?
Give me a moment.
Look for the ln button, the natural log button. It should, the ln button, the e to the x should be on the corner of it. So you have to hit second and ln. And that will bring up e and a caret, or it'll put e and it'll give you an exponent. Okay, yep, it gives you a caret, then a parenthesis, and then you plug in your 2 and hit enter.
Close it.
It's that one, or it's this one, or it's that one.
The one with,
I got 3
It's that one. It's that
you want e to the x.
It's that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, close it. I'll leave it open.
It doesn't matter. Since we're not putting anything after it, you don't have
That's right. How
to. So is everyone getting 7.38?
How's there a
Oh, yeah, I'm locked in.
It's inverse of the exponential function.
Don't
I
ask the
get the
question.
Yeah,
E, so 15.
I'm just wondering.
It's the inverse of the natural log.
Yeah, I'm locked in. Okay.
So we're getting 7.389, and I said round to the 10th because the next one's pretty big.
Where did they get that?
E is 3 point something.
Oh.
But it's the inverse of your natural log. If we were getting into, yeah, we don't get into solving equations with it, but so 3.3 million. But rounding to the 10th, you should get 3,269,017.4. Any questions on that? Everyone found the button in the calculator? We use it for exponential growth, and it's the inverse of the natural log. Okay, now this sounds like a lot, but it's an important one, and this is where the most mistakes happen. But this is what we'll use next chapter for house payments. For instance, this would be a loan of $30,000, so maybe a car. A loan of $30,000 at 4% for 15 months. This one's a loan for $150,000 at 6% for 30. Oh, these are years, sorry, but 30 years. And so the next chapter, we'll figure out what house payments would be. Therefore, you need to know how to use the equation and plug it into your calculator. If you're entering it all at once, that denominator needs to be in parentheses unless you have a fraction bar. Hold on, let me get.
I tried to put the 30,000 or whatever, but it made it fraction.
Okay, and that's okay. You could keep the rest of it up there. So next to the 30,000, go to the times 0.04 divided by 12. That whole thing could be on top. So those who have a fraction bar,
It gave me an error.
what did you get the figure in
I did
You don't know.
30,000. And then the fraction thing.
there? I would do times for put a parentheses. And the 0.04 divided by 3.
104 divided by 12, close parentheses.
Yeah. And then do the.
Divided by.
Oh, that's not giving you fraction bar.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good.
So if it's not giving you a fraction bar, you need to put the bottom in parentheses. You can also put the 30,000 on top if you want. Now, when you go to divide, it doesn't do a fraction bar. Then you can still do division, but then 1 minus 1 plus 0.04 to the 12th. Now, the caret goes on this part, the exponent. So if you're entering it all at once, you need to put parentheses here. Most students calculate the numerator, the denominator, and then divide them. But if you do that, you need to keep all the decimals in your calculator. Not that you have to write them all down, but you need to keep that whole thing in your calculator. Is everyone getting 221.91? On a test, I would enter it twice. If you got the same answer both times, it's probably right. If you got 2 different answers, try the third. Because it's so easy to make careless mistakes with it. Also, when you're plugging into the formulas, show me that so I know you were plugging it in right. For the second one, are you getting $899.33? Any question? Do we need to try another one of the house payments?
In this situation, could we cancel anything?
Nothing cancels. No.
Anything because they have external.
Because of this 1 plus here, you can't cancel that. Yeah, it would have been nice. There's another formula where they bring this up because of the negative exponent, but there's a lot more to it. It's harder. Any questions? So everyone's getting them. That's like unbelievable. Everyone's getting the answer.
Beginner's luck.
I'm not gonna argue. If you're not doing these on your calculator, please try them at home and ask me, because usually half of the class would have a problem. I don't know why that's all highlighted. So this chapter, we've done linear equations last chapter, y equals mx plus b. This one deals with increasing by a percent, which is exponential. Did everyone get one of these?
No.
Then you didn't sign the attendance sheet either.
No, I did sign it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay. Chapter 9 deals with exponential growth and decay. Notice the first one, let's get quiet. So we're investing $1,000, we get $100 per year interest, or the other option, 8%. If we look at the first one, if we're investing $1,000 and we're getting $100 per year, this is showing we're starting with 1,000. If we're getting 100 per year in the first year, how much do we have then? Get $100 more. 1,100. And the next one? And the next one? Yep. Each year we're adding the same amount. When you're adding the same amount each time, that's linear. Y equals mx plus b. M is the part that's being added. That's the 100 per year, because that's a rate. And the 1,000 is your y-intercept, it's what you're starting with. So on a test, I'll have a problem and you'll say, I'll ask, is it linear or exponential? And then I'll say, write the equation. So if it's growing by the same amount or decreasing by the same amount each time, it's linear. M is your rate, B is your starting amount. Any questions on that? So that's what we did last chapter. 8%. If it's growing by 8%, we can use what? 1 plus trick? So to find out how much is in the next account, the next year, we could take 1,000 times the 1 plus trick. If we take 1,000 times the 1 plus trick, we get 1,080. So then the next year you make 8% of what's in the account. So 1,080 times the 1 plus trick gives us $86.40. So we made more. When it's growing by 1%, you're making interest off of the interest from the year before. And therefore it grows a lot faster and not by the same amount. So when it's growing or decreasing by 1%, it's exponential. The formula, your balance is the initial amount, your starting amount, and then 1 plus, or if it's a decay, 1 minus. And T can be time in months, days, years, doesn't matter. It's whatever you set it up for. In this case, this was years. So we started with 1,000 times the 1 plus the rate as a decimal. And T is in years because this was in years. So if it is exponential, then you want to use this formula here. Oh, well. Any questions? A lot of times what we look for when we're increasing by 1%, they talk about doubling your money. So if you put so much in an account at a certain rate, you want to see how fast it'll double. You can use this formula. If the percent is less than or equal to 5%, you take 70 divided by the percent, and it will tell you how many years it takes to double your money. If it's greater than 5%, then you use the rule of 72 and divide by the percent. Now you're dividing by the percent, not the decimal. And that's why I put percent in here, because you want the percent, not the decimal. Any questions? So rule of 70 or 72. It splits at 5%, and the 5% goes with the lower, the 70. Any questions? Thinking about the formula that, I wrote it here. Initial amount, your 1 plus trick, and your T. We can find what it's changing by. Now, when you're explaining the relative change, you're finding the rate, but you also want to say if it's an increase or a decrease. So we added it to 1. You need to subtract the 1 back out. But make sure the -1 is second. Don't put, like if it was 0.8. You don't want to go 1 minus 0.8. You want to go 0.8 minus 1. Because if it's negative, that negative is a decrease. So always take what's in the parenthesis and subtract the 1. So this was a positive 0.04. It was an increase of 4%. And the starting amount is whatever's in front of your parenthesis. In this case, it was 320. And let's look at. So the initial amount, what's in front of the parenthesis, is the 120. To find the relative change, we take the 1.07, subtract 1. It's positive, so it's an increase. Write it as a percent. It's an increase of 7%. Go ahead and try the other 3. So for the first one, what's the initial amount? 462. And is it an increase or what are you doing? Is it an increase or a decrease?
Increase.
Of how much?
36%.
Does everyone agree?
Yeah.
So the initial amount was what was in front, the 472. And then if we take 1.36, subtract 1, we have 36 hundredths, which is an increase of 36%. Any questions on that? Okay, what's the initial amount for the third one?
521.
And is it an increase or a decrease?
Decrease.
How much?
28%.
So we take 0.72 minus 1, we get a negative 0.28, which is negative means it's a decrease. Write it as a percent, 28%. Any questions?
You always subtract 1.
Yes. Because we use the 1 plus trick, so we added the 1, now we subtract it. So did you get 1,000 for the initial amount? And then a decrease of how much?
Negative 96.
You get a negative 0.96, which is a decrease of 96%. Any questions on that? Okay. So you want to open your Excel. It says using Excel, find the growth and how long it takes to double. So if we look at balance 1, deposit $1,000 and get $100 per year in interest. We've already said, because we did this in the table, $100 per year is linear because it's growing by 100 each year. Where the second one, we're growing by 8%. And so it will be exponential because it's growing by percent. Just fill in like it says under A, put year and start. And we're starting with 1,000. Now I put start in there because when we put 1, that's the end of the first year, you start making money at the end of the first. So the start is when you opened it, how much was put in. No, it says. Does everyone have that in? So under number 1, under the start, this is A3. You want to put a 1 for the first year. Now, say we wanted several years, we don't want to type 1, enter, 2, enter, 3, enter. So you need to put a formula in. Remember when we did mean, median, mode, our formula was an equal sign? So to make a formula, we want equal, and we want to take the 1 above it plus 1, because we want to keep adding 1 to the 1 above. If we click on this space, it puts the A3 there for us. And then you just add 1. So you put equals, and then click on the 1 above it, and it'll put the A3, and then add 1, and hit enter, it's going to put a 2 there. Everyone getting the 2? Now, if you click back here, and now when you want to drag, you want to be careful. We don't want the one that looks like the blue cross blue shield sign. We don't want the one with the arrows. You want the one in the corner, and it's small, little thin blacks, plus sign. You left click it, and we want it to go 12. So we'll have to go down to 14 because we started down 2. Any questions on that? So we put equals, we clicked on where the number 1 is, and then put plus 1 and dragged it down. Now on a test or a homework assignment, I would ask something like I did here. I said to show, click on A10, what formula is there? So if we look where 10 is, A10, right there. And the formula is up here, equals A9 plus 1. You also, on a test, would need to save the Excel file and turn it in, so I know you use the formulas. So it says A10. Does everyone have equals A9 plus 1 there?
Mine isn't working.
Now the next one, if you got the first one, the next one we just keep adding 100, so it's only going to change it a little bit. So go ahead and try to stick column.
I'll be dragging across.
That's one of my press. Okay, so.
Yeah, you need the small little plus, it'll be in the bottom. Yeah, see that?
But
Yeah.
but that one's dragging across too.
Okay, then you didn't use the one.
Next box down. Either. This is where it's like equal.
And
You
then
need
click
somewhere
on
else.
the one. So equals,
And then you
click on,
put,
wait, leave that. Put a 1 there.
plus
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Okay.
And then you do this one.
Now on this,
Right.
where you're at now,
Bottom
put
right.
equals,
Drag it down to 12.
then click on the one above it,
Plus 1.
plus 1. Oh, so that, it would be similar, isn't it?
No, very similar. That's actually a new feature. Yeah.
It's true, literally.
Okay.
See, this right equals.
No, cause,
Plus.
8-4 is. what
You
have the-
said is 8.1. But it is.
So you see like the little green dot there, that's making it. Write down that, so go back. Exit out. Just look at it.
Oh.
Later.
This is the
No, that should be.
Little green dot.
This is what's there. You're the plus.
There you go.
So in the, is there any other questions on the ones? Everyone's got it counted by one? Okay, so the next one, wouldn't it be the same formula, but instead of +1, it'd be +100, because it's adding the same amount each time. So then when we look at the next one, equals the one above plus 100. Because I want to add 100 each time.
I got a question.
So I should be getting 1100.
I'm locked in, man. Oh, now you're talking.
You too need to go. Part.
Without meeting you before. I'm just done. Yeah, no, but it's something to do with. But then we put.
No, I'm not telling you that one yet. You're moving too far ahead. Does everyone have, what is it at the end? 2200, I think?
Where you go?
So then we click on the 1100, go to the very corner and drag it down, and we have 2200. Now it says click on B10 and B. So that would be here where the 1800 is. And our formula, do you have equals B9 plus 100? How many years did it take to double? 10. We started with 1,000. If we look here at 10, no, oh, years, yeah. 2000 is 10 years. So it took 10 years to double our money. Any questions? Yes.
I might have not clicked the right thing.
Okay.
Very low.
Go ahead and try the next one. Remember, think about your 1+ trick and how you can increase it by that 8% each time. Okay. And then click on the one above. Times that. Add 100. And hit enter. Yeah. I think you want to do enter first, right?
Okay, yeah.
Multiplication for Excel is an asterisk. So you can't use an X, you can't just put a parenthesis, you have to use an asterisk to multiply. And all I remember is the number 9 is 1999. So 9 years, you should have 1999. And you can write on these, put little notes to help yourself remember. So for the balance two, we're having an increase of 8%. Think about the formula. It was equals the one above times, and then the one plus trick, 1 plus 0.08, because 8% is a decimal. So to get the balance for the end of the first year, we would take the one before and use the 1 plus trick and get 1,080. That's what we got when we did it in the little table. And by using that C2 each time, it will take the next total. Go in the corner, drag it down. Now, if I move this over, getting a lot of decimal places. If you only want 2 decimal places, you first want to highlight your data. And then you can right click, or if you want integers, you can do that. So you right click and you go down to format cells. And then you want numbers. Don't use currency because, I don't know, a lot of formulas don't work with dollar signs. So just use number and then however many decimal places you want. And it will round it. So if you wanted just an integer, you can do that. Depending on what you're using it for. Any questions on that? So is everyone getting $2,518.17 at the end? So then click on C10 and see what the formula is. Okay. No, that's a problem. You want to multiply, so you have to use the asterisk. And then your parentheses.
You're doing what so it'll be.
Get 10.
Oh, yes, so this.
So you want to make sure you use that asterisk for multiplication. How long does it take? How many years before your money doubles? Anyone?
12,
No.
13.
9.
Oh, I was looking at that.
Oh, you were looking.
Yeah, I was.
So in 1999, it almost doubles in the 9th year. You need a little bit more.
I was looking at that side. I was looking at the.
Okay. Yep, that was 10.
So we cover how long it took the $1,000.
So for 1999, that's almost doubled, one more dollar. So it takes a little bit more than 9 years. Any questions on that? Now, if we use the rule of 70 or 72 to see, 8% is bigger than 5%, so you have to use 72. So we could go equals 72 divided by the percent, not the decimal. So 72 divided by 8, 9. Says it should take 9 years. It's just an estimate. It takes a little more than 9, but. So rule of 70 and 72, if you're going into business, you may have already seen that. Any questions on them? Everyone got the values correctly? Okay. Let's try the next one. Let's look at decreasing. We buy a car for $20,000 and it has 2 different values for depreciation. So we're looking at decreasing by $1,800 per year and decreasing by 13% per year. If you want to make columns wider, you just go up here. And then you can make them as wide or as narrow as you want. We want to go 6 years, and we're going by years. So in the first column, start with your 1 and then make a formula and drag it down so that it shows 6 years. Value 2, it's decreasing by 1,800 each year, and then drag it down for the 6 years. Then the other one is 13%. So value 1, is it linear or exponential? It's linear because it's the same amount each time, where value 2 is what? Exponential because it's decreasing by 1%. So to count by ones, I put an equal sign, clicked on the one above, +1, and I want 6 of them. 3, 4, 5, 6. Any questions on that? For the one that's decreasing by 1,800, are you getting 9,200 for the 6th year? So I put equals and then clicked on the one above, B2 minus 1,800. Did you get it? Did you get 9,200?
Yes.
What'd you get for this one?
8,672.52.
Is that what you got? Everyone get 8,600? We put equals the one before. You can make your screen larger. Mine.
Screen is looking small for you. But that's just what it means.
It won't let me go larger. There we go. Okay, so we'll delete that. Equals, and we click the one above. Now we want to multiply by the one minus trick. Multiplication is an asterisk. 1 minus, it was 13% as a decimal. Is that what everyone put? And then if we drag it down. Everyone getting those? There'll definitely be one on the exam. The take-home portion. Will value 2 ever reach 0? Exponentials approach zero, but they never reach it. Now, eventually your computer is going to round to it, but it's going to keep getting smaller and smaller. And then it gets into even negative exponents because it's so small. So it never really reaches zero, but eventually, depending on what you have your decimals rounding to, it will round to a zero. But technically, it's never zero. Most cars are always worth something, even if it's just for scrap metal. And that's why they're a good exponential decay. Any questions on that?
You just have a formula in it from value to.
Yeah.
to value.
For the exponential one? Can you see that? I could type it. I'll type it next to it. So it was equals, and then I clicked on the one above. Times 1 minus 0.13. Oops. That must not have hit shift. There we go. Any questions? Positive. Okay. Just to make sure you know how to make your calculator. Okay, so find the house payment for this. And then you can turn it in, and I will see you on Wednesday. Any questions on this? Okay, those who are online, as long as you text me the answer now, I will give you credit. Let me put it up on a Word document.
Better put your phone number up there?
Oh, no, you're gonna hand in the paper.
Oh, okay.
Those who are in class, write it on paper and turn it in with your name on it. Those who are online, I will put it up here.
Yeah, it is with extra steps. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah. Pretty sad.
For those who are online, I have to have it texted to me before 12:30. If you want that. With your, don't forget to give me your name. Did everyone mark the attendance sheet?
But monkey give me an error.
Oh my God, you put it. Right there. I have no idea how to start, but I think it does. I think that F is for fraction, but I don't know how to use it. Like that one line. Yeah, your bottom needs to all be in parentheses because it's.
Yeah.
Then I would like this whole bottom and see what you get. That's the bottom.
Oh.
So then you'd have the. Yeah, you'd have the 0.0067 divided by whatever this whole bottom is. Then you can make this.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
This morning, I forgot to submit it, so
Okay.
I was trying to rush, and so that's great. I'm not-
It's not.
I'm not too worried about it, but it's like submitted.
Okay. I mean,
Just letting you know.
yeah, no, as long as it's submitted, it's fine.
Okay.
If I can't open something, I'll let you know and then.
Okay.
Or do you mean this extra credit?
Yeah.
You meant
this-
the work.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually submitted it.
Oh, I understand now.
So it might just be. That's okay.
Yeah.
26.
That's okay, just, have you turned the homework in on top?
Okay, so. So I will turn in the shop.
She said for
So this morning, so I saw that it was late, so I was like, oh no, so I went to submit it, but I accidentally submitted it on the chapter 9, I don't know,
Oh, okay,
and so.
now I understand. You told me, so I remember to try. No, it's not.
Thank you.
I'm not even letting me do that.
No. It's just
Yeah.
I,
I had the guy expired at home, but it wasn't charged.
Oh.
I just used it.
yeah, I didn't have mine.
So when we were doing it in class, I was kind of just looking up what something was by.
That way you can.
It won't even let me do it at 65. It's like this. The mine is. And I'm sure it's like spirit of version.
Okay, So- one,
That's the conversion.
one minus. One minus,
Oh, wait, you want me to do this?
Yeah.
You should have-
and then there's a one there. Parentheses, one plus.
That's just this one.
And then close the parenthesis, and then an exponent, and then the 360. That's your whole denominator.
Minus 1 that's what I know. You guys got.
And then multiply that.
You said it's a single line? Yeah.
So I put all that out.
I was just wondering if it was a start.
Big. One, 6, 6, 5.
Yeah, I just wrote it wrong. Lynn wrote it wrong.
I have lots of different, every single one of them is different.
That's what I'm saying, like, you know.
Do you want mine? I can go get you mine. Right.
Okay. Yeah, cause I have like, every answer is different here. What do we got here?
If you need me to,
If you want, you know about time. Wow, sounds like I'm very.
what all are you getting? 1.66.
Well, I know that's wrong. I'm not gonna pay $1 a month.
Football, whatever.
Soccer, and then I'm gonna see if.
We have a 1050,
There you go.
we have a 16,665, we have 1834, we have $4.60.
Hey, don't.
$1,000 a month.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if it should be that long.
This is what I.
1841. I have every single person, how come people said they knew how to do it?
Yeah, but this one has. This one has to be like, he just did it.
Yeah, but rounding. What was the rate?
It would, yeah.
Yeah, and she loved, she, I go hard.
What's your class?
Well, the 0.08.
That's awesome.
For the.
Oh, okay, that's it. What's the? I know it.
What module are you trying to do? Or what discussion?
Really short.
You said discussion 5?
Yeah, no, like Navy.
You said discussion 5?
Yeah, module 5.
I know.
No, mine
It's module 5. So you like this one.
I'm saying like, doesn't it say, can you that say for you? Today or with the.
I was just looking at the syllabus.
Yes.
Yeah. Module 5 discussions.
Yeah, so you're not supposed to know.
It was a multiply four, it was a
The
whole
whole
wall.
thing. Yep.
Some other.
Talking about white, what kind of cat?
That's so I keep, oh.
Saying like, more people in high school.
I like.
You just have to like, I always,
Yeah, it's
I literally do these
Oh,
like.
that was
$1.
well, actually, it's
I was
$200,
looking at
but in September it was on sale for 70.
Still necklace.
Yeah, it is, but you know what? It's my favorite.
Yeah, not sure.
So what's the answer? If I.
Arthur Smith,
Yeah.
hard match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 0 in front
The
is,
schedule gets a little bit.
as long as it's .08.
I rounded on some of them, but I went.
So if I did 1.8, like if I did.
Like, you need to actually put together.
No. Okay.
So
what I mean by that, I'm feeling.
Okay, yeah, you're cool, I'm gonna head up there.
You know,
Mhm.
like, on the next one.
Yeah.
Getting college stocks. I know.
It looks right, I know, right.
Putting that 0 in front didn't matter. It just matters that
Yeah,
it's
it's good.
.08. That's good.
Yeah, my record coming to, I'm gonna be 4-4 and stuff.
I mean, not much.
I didn't know if that would change.
That's work.
Yeah.
I was crazy. I don't know, there's working with. Yeah, I think we sure.
The whole, that is like down the service.
Other ones do. 250.
You're welcome.
Brown on spot, is it Brown?
Yeah.
Right, it's kind of like a fun trip, right?
Yeah, so it was, so when we left on Friday, they told us he could take me out. So I drove from Wisconsin. Then, but when we left where we were staying in North Dakota, we left, it was 20 degrees, we had 10 hours.
Wow.
So and now the road, you saw. It was like, the upgraded on the roads, because semis going down the road, we were on the road, so you just ice, like, so it was like ice the whole way, and then there's a few.
Yeah, but that's.
So,
Oh,
and as we kept going, it's more. We left on some. 30, 35, 40, and then we got to Chicago, it was like 45, and then we got home, like, we got to.
How many hours?
yeah.
And we're like,
Usually it's about an hour, hour and a half. Wow.
yeah, it was cold. The last day we hunted, it was 30 degrees, and then with the wind. It was
Wow.
Yeah.
How many hours?
Oh, you brought the cold.
I'm fine, so like, I'm tired of these 70-degree days. I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind it being, 40, 45. I don't mind it.
No, I like still running my air conditioning. I'm not ready for my heater.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
There, for my, what was it? The different ages or whatever? Who else should I ask? Was it? To get the 25.
Oh, you got like 18, I think, huh?
I only got like 15 today.
Oh, you didn't pass it around.
Right.
Okay.
Which is,
Yeah, I'm
which
sure
is
I
favorite
have people
thing
out
to
there
do?
walking out.
Running
Other,
across the-
another class.
Okay.
Dance. How
Or
many
stop
hours? do you
People
dance?
on the street.
2 hours.
Is it raining right now? Looks like it's not raining.
Running, lifting, CrossFit.
Where's your next class? Are you done?
Oh, no, I'm done for today. I'll ask tomorrow.
How many hours a day do you do?
Hour.
Hour. Which one?
You.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are we supposed to be turning the other worksheet into?
No. No, that was just if you wanted to write on it while we were doing this. Thank you.
Not walking here.
I think they're good.
How many people?
I get it.
Okay, those are online. Are there any questions?
15.
I'm very old. I'm a lot older than most of these guys in here. I remember a lot of this.
Okay, if you don't have any questions, I'll see you on Wednesday.
I definitely see 15 people. Yeah.